Hi, I'm Sydney. Welcome back to my Flock and Squawk. And last week I talked about collecting versus overconsumption and kind of where I draw the line in a way. Because as someone who collects Garfield as well as some other items, I feel like there's a distinct difference between collecting as a hobby versus collecting something because it's popular and not necessarily because you find genuine, true enjoyment out of it. I used Labubus as an example, but there have been tons of things over the years that have become crazes and all of that. But in that video I said that if you wanted, I would show off my Garfield collection. I mostly just collect the plush toys, and that's basically what I have to go over. But we are going to take a look. Specifically, there was one person in the comments that said that they actually would like to see my collection, so shout out to you. Your comment and your little icon will be here. It was Garfield, and I really appreciated that you actually took the time to comment and reply. So let's just get into it. I have a couple, where do I start? Yeah, so I have a couple of non-plush items. Specifically, I am not showing off any of my t-shirts. I have probably 3 or 4 t-shirts slash one button-up top. And then I have a blanket that you can just get at Walmart today. Pretty standard. As for my actual collection though, it is primarily Garfield, specifically from in the 80s. That's my favorite. I do have a few newer, especially because of the Garfield movie. So let's just take a look at what I have. For non-plush items, I have this tea towel. It typically hangs in our kitchen and it goes on the stove. At least that's where I have it. And then it says, when it comes to eating, I'm a genius, with Garfield at his food dish. It is very worn, and it is a first edition by Franco. So I don't know if that means anything to anyone, but it's just like a little tea towel. I think it's very cute. It goes with our kitchen because we have a lot of vintage Coca-Cola red black on display. And this sort of red color goes with it, as well as just like the 70s, 80s 3-stripe. Very cute. Like I said, it's something that's on display. From the same person we got the tea towel, they also had this little dough guy. It looks like it's some sort of homemade clay project. He is super cute. He's got a little actual bouquet, and then on the back it kind of like looks like bread, just like the texture of whatever salt dough they used, but super cute. This one has a lot of personality, and I put him on our bookcase just as a little display guy. Then next up I have this Pez dispenser. We got it at an antique mall that we go to fairly regularly, and they always have a cabinet that's full of old Pez dispensers. They have quite a few Garfield ones, but I went through and I found the one that looked the best. I have no interest in really collecting Pez dispensers or anything. I just got it because it was such a cute model, and I'm thinking that we might be able to scan it and kind of use this to build up a 3D model for a project someday. You know, maybe make a little Garfield memento, but this one looked super good. So got that little guy. How do I move on next? I will go for the brand new Garfields. So for Garfield, like I said, my favorite is mostly the 80s, but with the Garfield movie last year, we have Odie, and these ones are not my favorite plushes of them, particularly because of the eye details. Like, the eyes look a little too goofy, and the fact that it's like a mono eye, even though there is stitching and stuff. Not my favorite. Still cute, still Garfield and Odie. The movie was super adorable. Then I have, obviously, older Garfield, where he's a little rotund man. And then I have baby Garfield, which all of the trailers super cute. This little guy I actually got as a surprise from Connor. He put in a mobile order and told me, hey, the mobile order is ready. Go pick it up. There's a surprise for you. And they just brought out this little guy. That was the entirety of the mobile order. I thought it was so sweet. We don't normally do mobile orders because we live a little bit farther out than some, so we normally just go into the store. But look at this little guy, so cute. And little baby Garfield was adorable. We did go on a date and watch the movie. So there's those ones. And then for other Garfields that you can find brand new in the shops, I actually have two of them. So these guys are considered pillows technically, but they are two large Garfields. They speak to me. One likes to live out on the couch. The other one I have in our bedroom on the bed. And they're pretty cute. I really enjoy just like the general design of these Garfields more than the movie tie-in ones. Also, they're nice, large, squishy, and yeah, like there's not too much to say about these ones other than I enjoy having a Garfield of this size to squeeze, and I don't feel bad that if they get dirty or something because they're not as faux fur, faux plushiness. It's sort of just a soft velvety-ish material. So I got two of those guys. I'll set them down here. Now let's see what Garfield should be next. Okay, so part of my love for Garfield comes from the "To be loved is to be changed" meme, and I will show you my Garfield that looks like that. But here is a fantastic example of the "To be loved is to be changed." This Garfield is on my keys and is handled almost every day. And he is very well loved and worn. And then this guy does not sit on my keys. He's not ever really handled. He goes over there on my craft thing that holds my thread, and he just sort of hangs out. He is, yeah, in really great condition. He's super soft and fuzzy. This guy's gotten a little matted down and the stripes aren't quite as defined. But yeah, so very cute side by side of handled every day, just sort of on display. And then another little Garfield. If you watched our vlog where we went to Portland last year, I got this guy at an antique mall. He's obviously not antique, but he is Garfield. Just a cute little keychain guy. And at the same antique mall, we got an actual vintage Odie. He is super cute. I really like the separate two duckeen eyes. And then he's got a little heart. So, super cute, nice small little guy. All right, let's see. Because we talked about "To be loved is to be changed," this is actually my first Garfield plush. It was a gift from Connor, and we did some friendship bracelets, and this one got one. It has "Garf to be loved," and then it says Sydney and Connor on the back. But it's so sweet and so cute, and I really appreciate. He's the one that started the whole collection, but I've always loved Garfield, so there he is, super cute. Following in on Garfields with the friendship bracelets, here is one that has a necklace that says Bean Boy, but he's just a cute little guy. I like to take him around with me. He has the little velvet heart. He actually fits, or used to fit, in my car cup holder, and so it looked like he was in a little high chair. But yeah, this little guy is perfect. I like to take him around with me when we travel because he's so small and pocketable. So there's that one, and then this guy sleeps on our bed with me every night. I squish him, which is why he's a little deformed. He's actually gotten quite a lot of wear over the last couple years, just from being slept with, and I sleep like this on my side with him. And then he's got a little Gorf friend because he's Garfield girlfriend, and his cute little, he is just so like perfect sized for cuddling, just like the modern ones that I showed you earlier. So yeah, the guy I sleep with every night, other than, yeah, we don't need to get into that, but now let's see. As for other sitting Garfields, I have essentially the full set. We have the littlest one, also one that I really love to take around with me. This one is a little bit more worn, like his stripes aren't quite as prominent, but he's such a perfect little beanbag size. Like to take him with me. And then there's this guy who sits in a little organizer in our bedroom by the light switch. We usually like toss our just things that are in our pocket, like chapstick and all of that, and then he sits in it as well. This one is in a little bit better condition. I don't think he was really played with as much, but look at that face. Super, super cute and super soft. That's one of the things that I really love about old plushes, is just like the fur texture. Not saying that there's anything wrong with modern day plushes, but just like there's something about that older plush softness. So there he is. And then this guy I got very recently. He's one of my, I think he is the newest. Yeah, he is the newest, along with another one that I'll show you over. But here he is. He is another sitting. He's got the little Dakin tag, and I don't know, they changed up something for his face, so he's extra rotund looking, very cute. And he's actually sitting in the opposite direction. I've seen online for some reason that they did each sitting different direction. I've got no clue why there's that distinction, or if there was like a before this time is one way, before or after this time is another. But they are different and super cute and soft. So those are all of my sitting Garfields. Let's take a moment to talk about Pookies. So here is the Beanie Baby 2000s movie Garfield. Super cute, very comic book-like, and he fits in perfectly. And then there's this Pookie, who also has, I don't know how well you see it, a little red heart, like my other little Garfield. And these guys came with the tea towel and the clay Garfield from earlier. The original owner of them said that their kids didn't want them, and they were selling things off to go live the retired dream. So here they are, cute little guys. They are so perfect and fantastic condition. I really appreciate those. Let's see what is next. So part of the trouble of doing this video is every time I would get started, I would realize that there was a Garfield in another room, or I would go to collect Garfields and I'd just keep finding them. So let's do these guys. So if you've been with this channel a while, you may recognize this one. I actually fixed him up. I took out all of his stuffing, washed him, fixed his accessories, added a little star to his wand. So I fixed him up in a video. And then this guy, you may or may not recognize, but it is Jogger Garfield. And I do have his tag still. It came off. But yeah, he's just dressed up for working out, which I think is kind of funny and ironic. Not my favorite to collect Garfields that are stylized wearing clothes in a certain way, which is different than the Garfield I'm about to show you. But these guys, super cute, adorable parts. They're a little more meant for a shelf. This guy, on the other hand, is different. This is just a normal little sitting Garfield that someone made clothes for or put clothes on. And I think it's super cute. I took him camping recently when we went, which you probably have seen on Instagram if you follow me there. If you follow me on Instagram, you have seen most of these Garfields. I do take photos of them fairly regularly. So here's this guy. He's wearing a little corduroy pants, just a knit top, and he is like the size down from this guy. So we have, you know, the medium sizes, and then this is the smallest of this, you know, general line. I believe. So here's this Garfield. He's super worn. I take him with me, like in my bag and stuff fairly often. But he is so cute, soft. Another nice, like, beanbag size, but definitely bigger. So there's that guy. And then, just to round out that set, I have the biggest version, the size of a toddler. He's so soft, he's so perfect. He literally just fills his own chair, and I really love to give him a cuddle. I got him for Christmas this past year, and it was such a gift. Oh, I really am just so pleased and happy that I was able to have such a wonderful gift from Connor. And Connor's been framing it as though it is Santa, just like with this standing Garfield. This little guy was also a Christmas gift that Connor had packaged from Santa. So super awesome and sweet, and I just love the face on this one too. Like, I get that they all pretty much have the same face, but there's like nuance and like differences between each of them, and it just, something so lovely. Then, speaking of Christmas, to finalize my Garfields that I've gotten for Christmas, oops, I got this guy. Connor did not frame him as being from Santa. This was just part of my gift, and he is so perfect. I don't really see listings for him online, and yeah, this one is in super great condition, and I just am in love. Look, it's like for a child's mobile almost. He's just so adorable, and that face. I know it's ridiculous, but I like what I like, dang it. And just another moment of appreciation for soft, chunky boys. And then I think we'll wrap things up with my full set of characters. I think that's all the Garfields. If not, check me out over on Instagram. So we have Garfield, stop it. We have not just Garfield, we have not just Odie, but we have my only Arlene, as well as my only Nermal. Can you guess why I only have these versions of them? Because Arlene is kind of not my favorite when it comes to the Dakin plushes. The neck looks too weird, and then Nermal is just not as common in Dakin, and also just looks like Garfield but gray. But these guys, I think they stylized the characters perfectly. They're so cute, and they're the perfect size of just like soft toy. I think these are more 90s or early 2000s perhaps, but they're so cute. And I just want to wrap this video up by reading what these tags say. I actually have the tags for Arlene, Garfield, and Nermal, but I think this kind of sums up part of my love for soft toys. And it comes from the tag in its official club, Garfield. And when I read it, it basically summed up my feelings towards plush toys. The bond between a child and a plush doll is a very special thing. Every time I see a tattered and worn doll, I marvel at all the loving it took to make it that way. The Garfield plush program is very important to me. I'd love to put a plush Garfield in the arms of every child. And then it kind of goes on talking about Garfield. And then it says, the tactile relationship we develop with a plush doll spawns an affection that can't be duplicated or repeated. And I definitely agree with that. I really have a love of tactile, soft toys that just, and like looking at my Garfields and looking at the loving and the change, like there's something so special. And when you thrift these things like I do, because most of my collection is not new off the shelf, they had a life before. Someone loved this toy before. And I think that's a very special thing. And it's just so nice to look at a Garfield and be like, man, someone loved this toy enough to give it a little outfit. That's something that's really special to me. It just makes me happy. And yeah, I know it's a little funny talking about my plush toy collection for however long this video is, but I just wanted to share something that I love, and Garfield is something that I genuinely do love, and I'm kind of at the point where I'm deciding not to proactively collect. I'm kind of like putting it on the back burner of like, if people gift me stuff, I would love to have Garfield stuff, but I don't want to overcrowd our space. We don't have the biggest house in the world. We don't have the biggest budget in the world. We can't afford a Garfield museum yet. So with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that my commenter friend from last week is able to see this, and I look forward to everyone's feedback. Next week will hopefully be a crafting video. I've been working on one, but I kind of needed to postpone it. Got some more stuff to work on for that. And I wanted to share my Garfield collection and be able to say, hey, here it is. This is what I got. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you flock and squawk again with me sometime. Bye! Oh man, I knew this would happen. I also have the Garfield pillow pet. So here he is. He normally is in Connor's pickup as a cozy cuddle there. But yeah, one last Garfield. And then here they all are. The Garfields to rule the world.